Welcome our respected examiner, external examiner, Professor Dr. Gurpreet Kaur Pannu, for conducting the PhD dissertation final viva of Monica. Supposed to
She's going to
be awarded the degree of doctorate on the topic of education as a human rights of prisoners, a study with special reference to TIHAR Central Jail. Before we start, let me just introduce today's external examiner. Professor Dr. Gurpreet Kaur Pannu is a prominent professor of law at the Department of Law, Punjab University, Patiala. She is a highly respected academic figure and university administration. Her core profile and contribution includes she has served as a professor of law, legal affairs on the Punjabi University Administrative Board and in charge of the university library. Madam has published many research papers, guided many PhD theses, presented papers in national and international conferences, and published many books on in spite of this brief, because if the details are required to be given, it's a long list. So I know Madam personally from many years, and I know her contribution for the development of law department of Punjabi University, not only the Punjabi University, but the academic committees of National University Patiala and many other institutions where the madam has actively contributed her views, be it as a framing of syllabuses, be it as a guiding the students appearing in the PhD and dissertation vivas, as an external examiners. And madam's role and academic contribution has made the students comfortable, and suggestions were incorporated with which their work on the quality has improved. So her role as an academician and the contribution, be it as for the Punjabi universities and the other local institution, we are also very blessed that wherever we have requested madam has always given us consent and contributed for the academic achievements. On behalf of School of Law, Lovely Professional University, we welcome you. And this work is under the supervision of Dr. Geeta. And as per the practices, we allow the students to present their work for 10-15 minutes. It's completely on your wish. And then based on the reports, all the reports are positive. But whatever queries and questions have been mentioned by the external examiners, it's all up to you to ask the questions. And there is no fixed criteria and procedure. The external examiner is the sole authority to regulate, to give the opinion, suggestions, and the final words would also be by the external examiner. With this, once again I welcome on behalf of School of Law and faculty members and the supervisors, and request you to start the PhD. Allow it.
Please start with your presentation.
Good morning to all the members of the panel present here. I am Monica, research scholar at School of Law, Lovely Professional University, hereby present before you all for my final defense viva. My doctoral thesis is titled Education is a Human Right of Prisoners, a study with special reference to TIHAR Central Jail. This research examines how education functions as a fundamental human right, serving as a powerful tool for resocialization and rehabilitation of incarcerated individuals. Historically, our penal system has prioritized punitive control, often neglecting the transformative power of learning. Through my research, I seek to bridge the gap between the strong constitutional promises like Article 21 and the fragmented, inconsistent implementation of educational programs on the ground. I chose this topic because I believe that every individual, even behind the bars, has the right to education so that they can evolve into a better citizen, better human, and they also deserve a chance to learn, grow, and eventually return to the society with dignity. As Dr. Kiran Bedi said, she is the role for the prison system. She is the one who put education to the Central TIHAR jail when she was posted in Delhi. And once she visited our university, Delhi University, and I heard her lecture where she said that the incarnation should not be a punishment. It should not be treated as a punishment. It should be an opportunity for evolving. It should be an opportunity for transformation. So I was very mesmerized by her words. By analyzing the current status of TIHAR jail, my work aims to identify systematic barriers and propose policy-driven solutions. I am very grateful to my supervisor, Dr. Geeta, because she helped me throughout this journey, and she was a great inspiration also. Not even she helped me in my thesis, she also helped me in my personal things also. Education as a human right of prisoners, a study with special reference to TIHAR Central Jail. Education is widely familiar as an essential human right and a critical instrument of social transformation. In contexts of prisons, the right to education is a human right grounded in the right to dignity, as it not only upholds human dignity but also contributes to rehabilitation and promoting social reintegration. Historically, Indian penal system inherited from colonial rule was primarily punitive, prioritizing control and suppression over rehabilitation. However, continuous efforts by enlightened administrators and reformers introduced the idea of education as a means of moral reformation and social reintegration. Post-independence, influenced by the Indian constitution ideals of human dignity and equality, and notably Article 21, prison education began to reimagine as a central pillar of criminal justice reform. This shift was reinforced by the judicial pronouncements such as D.K. Basu versus State of West Bengal, which affirmed education as integral part of the dignity of prisoners. International frameworks like United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the treatment of prisoners, Mandela Rules, further mandated and legitimatized prison education as a core component of human rights. In India, all the constitution values and judicial precedents acknowledge education as a vital rehabilitative tool. Its practical implementation within correctional institutions remain fragmented and fraught with challenges. Although TIHAR jail has officially partnered with institutions such as Indira Gandhi National Open University and the National Institute of Open Schooling, now NEP is also followed in TIHAR jail to provide educational opportunities to inmates. The implementation of these programs is uneven and often arbitrary. The core problem addressed in my thesis is twofold, encompasses both legal failure and sociological barrier. Despite the universal recognition of education as a fundamental human right and its legal affirmation within the Indian constitutional framework, Article 21, as essential for dignity and rehabilitation, the actual implementation of effective and relevant educational program for prisoners in high security facilities like TIHAR Central Jail remains structurally deficient. Crucially, even where educational success is achieved, the effectiveness of the correctional system is severely undermined by the measurable gap between the legal mandate for rehabilitation and lack of community awareness and acceptance, leading to persistent social stigma that hamper the successful resocialization and employment of educated former prisoners, thereby perpetuating the cycle of recidivism. So I have followed the research methodology which I have followed is mixed method, that is doctrinal plus empirical. Doctrinal, I have which is qualitative in nature, focuses on legal principles, theories and frameworks, involves analysis of legal texts, case laws and statutes. In empirical research, I have taken it as quantitative and qualitative both, involves the collection and analysis of data through observation, surveys, questionnaires and interviews, aims to test the hypothesis and explore relationship between variables. In chapter 4, I have done the random sampling from two stakeholders, the jail authorities and the general public. The universe of doctrinal research, this is the limitation of the research. concerning prisoners' rights and education for empirical research involving jail authorities. The universe is personnel of the central TIHAR jail. For general public survey, the universe is the general population. This study is specifically limited to the educational right of the prisoners. The empirical component focuses on jail authorities confined to central TIHAR jail in Delhi only. These are the evidences for the data collection and limitations. Hypothesis. The current educational initiatives within the central TIHAR jail are not adequate for re-socialization of prisoners into the society. The second hypothesis, enhancing educational programs in jail with a focus on vocational training and community engagement initiatives may significantly improve prisoners' re-socialization into the society and shape more favorable public perceptions toward prisoners after release. This is the brief of this hypothesis, why I have chosen this hypothesis. This is a relational alternative hypothesis. I predicted a specific directional relationship between the variables. That increased educational participation would lead to improved re-socialization outcomes and lower recidivism. My statistical analysis of the TIHAR data and community survey data allowed me to successfully reject the null hypothesis and validate this predicted hypothesis. My research methodology uses a mixed method approach to compare participation data against outcomes. The relational hypothesis is perfectly suited for this, allowing me to establish the statistical significance for the connection between the two main variables, independent variable and dependent variable. Independent variables are the educational participation, enrollment, completion and certificates. Dependent variable, re-socialization outcomes. This is the novelty of the study. The novelty of the study lies in the integrated approach to examining the educational right of prisoners by combining doctrinal legal analysis with empirical evidence drawn from both jail authorities and the general public. While existing literature often focuses either on the legal frameworks or on the general prison condition, this research uniquely bridges a gap between the policy perceptions and practical implementation within one of the most prominent correctional institution, Central TIHAR Jail. By assessing not only the legal and human rights foundation but also the actual functioning of the educational programs and societal attitudes toward prisoners' rehabilitation, the study offers fresh insights into how education contributes to re-socialization. It depends on 3 points. My research did not just study the law or the institution, but I integrated a quantitative study of social stigma to identify the bottleneck of rehabilitation process. It successfully quantified the paradox that while the public believes education is effective, their personal willingness to accept and hire former prisoners remain a significant and measurable obstacle. This research.
What was the number of inmates when you conducted this study?
In TIHAR jail, when I was to collect the data from the prisoners, the number of TIHAR in prisoners were 10,000. It's about 10,000, almost 11,000.
So as you have mentioned about the foreign prisoners, so is there any type of like counseling or any other type of these sessions or any other mode of education for these people who do not belong to our country but they are the foreigners?
No ma'am, the counseling is there, but no other education. Vocational trainings are given in TIHAR jail. Only vocational trainings and the education.
That one training is given to
each and every person.
Without any type of categorization.
Yeah.
Without any type of their.
And that is not also compulsory. Those who are willing to do study, those who want to willingly, it's done by the prisoners. If they are not willing, then this is not allowed.
So here, when your focus is on the education.
Yes.
So what do you understand or what do you mean by this term education? Is it formal education or it belongs to any type of this training? Vocational training or something else?
Through education, I mean by formal education also. Those who are not educated in the prisons. Mainly there are like laborers and all that. Those who are only 4th, 5th and even the uneducated. And secondly, the vocational trainings, the skill upgradation programs I am talking about. And that is given in TIHAR jail.
So
but that is not, both are included. Both
formal
are included. Formal and vocational trainings.
Okay. is it compulsory or an option is given to the inmates?
No, ma'am,
that
it's
if
not
you are
compulsory.
interested, You can go for
That
it, otherwise-
that's what I have highlighted in my thesis. It's not compulsory, but I think it should be compulsory for all the prisoners. It's not compulsory. It's their choice in Central Tihar Jail. Should I move to next slide? Objectives. My first objective is to study the historical background of the prison system in India. Second, to outline the national and international framework for ensuring prison right to education as a human right. Third, to assess the role of Indian judiciary in promoting education as one of the human rights of prisoners. Fourth one, to trace the effectiveness of current educational initiatives within the Central Tihar Jail in fostering prison's capacity for resocialization and public perspective towards prisoners.
Reading these objectives, why don't you give us the brief of each chapter, and then you can say that how these objectives are achieved in this chapter.
Okay. So the first chapter is Introduction and Historical Background of Prison's Right to Education, in which my first objective is achieved. It introduces the topic of research. The chapter discusses about the historical background and evolution of criminal justice system and development of criminal justice system, administration, different doctrines and process of sentencing, as well as the protective measures available to accused. Second chapter, International Framework with regard to education as a human right of prisoners. My second objective is national and international. So I have divided that in two chapters. Second chapter is international framework, and in third chapter I have taken national legal framework. In third chapter also I have taken the comparative analysis with other countries of India. International framework with regard to education as a human right of prisoners. This chapter critically examines the core international instruments, convention and standards that establish education as an inalienable human right for all prisoners, thereby establishing the global benchmark. National legal framework for education as a human right of prisoners. The study contains discussion on constitutional and statutory provisions on prisoners' rights. In this chapter, the constitutional perspective of prison rights, statutory rights of the prison rights as mandate in the prison manual, and areas of concern has been discussed. The Constitution has laid down various provisions which protect the arrested persons and provided them some rights. Article 20 to 22 and Article 39A deserve special consideration. My fourth chapter is role of Indian judiciary in promoting education as a human right of prisoners in India. This chapter adequately encapsulates the cases and the judicial pronouncements concerning the educational right of prisoners and also the control of judiciary over this right. Under this chapter, the role played by the judiciary regarding the protection of the fundamental rights of the prisoners, as well as issuing the various direction, orders and state and its instrumentalities in its shield to redesign the prison jurisprudence in India has been highlighted. The constitutional and statutory safeguards have been discussed under the umbrella of judicial pronouncement in this chapter. This chapter fulfills my objective number 4. The fifth chapter is Education as a Human Right of Prisoners, a critique of enforcement in Tihar Jail. In this chapter, I have shown all the data I have collected, all the bars, pie charts. All this is done in chapter 5. Chapter 6 is Conclusion and Suggestions. This includes our conclusion and suggestions. Chapter 1. Introduction and Historical Background of Prisoners' Right to Education in India. The evolution of prisoners' rights to education in India reflects a long transition from punitive control, colonial prison practices to a modern human right-based correctional system. Initially, prisons were designed purely for custody and punishment, with no emphasis on intellectual or moral development. Over time, constitutional interpretation, judicial activism, international human rights norms, and reforms in prison administration collectively transformed education from a privilege into a recognized component of human dignity and rehabilitation. From chapter 1, my first I have discussed colonial era to early post-independence. During the colonial period, Indian prison functioned as instrument of discipline and deterrence with no structured educational programs. The early decades after independence continued to carry traces of this punitive legacy. Education was not viewed as a right but as optional activity dependent on prison officials' discretion. The absence of policy attention, trained teachers, and academic facilities meant that very few prisoners had access to any form of learning. Constitutional interpretation after 1950. With the adoption of Constitution, the understanding of prisoners' right began to change. Although the Constitution does not explicitly mention prison education, Article 14, 19 and 21 laid the foundation for rethinking the purpose of imprisonment. Courts began interpreting Article 21 broadly to include dignity and mental well-being and personal development. This expanded interpretation marked the beginning of recognizing education as integral to the right to life even in custody. Rise of reformative jurisprudence. From 1960 onwards, Indian courts increasingly emphasized rehabilitation over retribution theory. Judgment stressed that prison must not create living corpses but should prepare individuals for reintegration. This reformative shift introduces the idea that education is crucial for moral, intellectual, and vocational development. Court began recognizing learning as necessary for transforming inmates into responsible citizens. Influence of international human rights standards. The evolving global human rights landscape also shaped India's approach. Instruments like Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 26, ICESCR, and the UN Standard Minimum Rules, Nelson Mandela Rules, positioned education as a universal human right applicable to prisoners. India's participation in these frameworks, along with recommendation from bodies like UNESCO and UNODC, encouraged the integration of structured educational programs within the prison systems. Impact of judicial activism. Judicial activism in the late 1970s and 1980 brought a major shift. Landmark cases expanded prison right and explicitly linked dignity with intellectual development. Courts held that incarceration does not erase fundamental rights and emphasized humane treatment, access to books, the right to write, and opportunities for learning. These decisions created a jurisprudential basis for treating education as an essential element of custodial life. Policy reforms and prison manual. Following judicial intervention, prison administration gradually incorporated education as a formal reformative strategy. The Model Prison Manual 2005, later strengthened in 2016, mandated literacy programs, adult education, vocational training, library facilities, IGNU centers, NIOS centers also now, NEP also followed, and structured higher education opportunities. These policy reforms institutionalized educational access as a standard part of prison governments across states.
How many states have adopted the model prison manual?
The Delhi prison is adopted by Delhi, and modern prison is it is mandatory for all the states, but it's not adopted by all the states. Rajasthan have adopted, for now. Uttar Pradesh have adopted. One new judgment, Kerala has adopted. This I have identified from the recent judgments that these states have adopted. And they also follow central TIHAR jail to use this resocialization and rehabilitation of the prisoners.
Come to your 4 areas of thesis. Chapters 1, 4, 5, 6 chapters.
Yes.
That would be more. Tell us about that.
What's it?
Focus on the core area. Chapter 4, 5.
Chapter 4,
Four,
5,
chapter
6.
Okay. I'm moving to chapter 4. Fourth chapter is the judiciary, role of judiciary.
The role of judiciary. then what the empirical status is, and then the analysis of empirical, then conclusion.
Okay, sir. I'm just moving to that.
So there's few landmark judgments also which has created.
I'm telling you the recent judgments.
Sure.
So the fourth chapter deals with the role of Indian judiciary in promoting education as a human right of prisoners in India. I'm just explaining the landmark judgments. The first judgment is Suhas Chakma versus Union of India. This is the Fab 2026 judgment recently. In this, the Supreme Court ordered that the OCI facilities, like the OCI's open correctional facilities, should expand and adopt the common minimum standards for governance. In it, the women should also be included, because in most of the like this educational programs and vocational trainings, women are like discriminated. They are not given enough chance to study, to do vocational trainings. Only men's are given more chance. So this judgment is like ordered the state and union territories to expand the open correctional institutions and adopt common minimum standard for governance. The court emphasized that Article 21 should extend beyond prison gate and obligates the state to prevent incarnation from becoming inhuman. In this second, the second point was the multi-tier monitoring system should be established. Like monitoring should be there on every jail, that the education is given, and if given, then is it bringing any change in the prisoners or not? They are ready for the re-socialization. They are ready to be in the society again. The second judgment was Dodiyal versus State of Rajasthan. This is 1 month ago. This judgment was done in May 2026.
The judgment which you recently cited regarding the kind of impact created by the education over these prisoners, is there any status available that these many prisoners or inmates are undergone with these educational facilities?
Yes, sir.
This is
I have done the TIHAR jail data in my lifestyles. Yes, the questionnaires were there, and I have also collected the data from the TIHAR jail site only. There is one site, TIHAR jail, and I have also put RTI for that. I have received data regarding how many prisoners are educated, like 10th highly educated, or 10th, 12th vocational trainings, arts and skills. I have all that I have done in this PPT.
Monica, do you have any type of data to prove that what is the number or what is the percentage of the prisoners who really feel that availing this type of right to education in the prison, that had changed their life, as you are talking about their reformation, their rehabilitation?
I had conversation with 2 prisoners, ex-prisoners, but I could not quote that data because that was not like.
You can tell us
I can tell you. I met Mr. Devinder. He was a murder convict. Actually, that was accident case, as he told me. But that was like judgment was of murder. So he was for 7 years. He was in jail. After he came out in 2016. So after that, in 2 years, he has built his like property and all. He has done invested in real estate. He has done in Gujarat. He is doing this business of JCBs, like drawing what we can say.
How the kind of education which was provided there has created impact on it in terms of changing.
Here are 2 things. One is the category of persons who are from a very well-to-do family, right? Already they are rich, already they have the agricultural land, they have some sort of business and all that. So I think in these type of cases, this education cannot be of any type of use or value, right? And on the other hand, because the life inside the prison is very miserable, and particularly after release, that is more miserable.
Yes.
And particularly if you talk about the women, so usually and generally they are not accepted by the family, they are not accepted by the society and all that. So here when we talk about the second category of prisoners who belong to lower strata of the society, right, who are totally resourceless, they are not educated, they are not rich, right? They do not have any type of property and all that. So how, after availing this right to education in the prison, their life has been affected?
Women, I don't have any like interviews or data, but for men I have both from the high standard families and from the low standard. The low standards are doing the job of this security guards. Two people are there who are doing the job of security guards.
But that was not taught to them.
No, that was not taught to them, but they were accepted. Mostly we say that society don't accept, but maybe there is a change in their behavior. They told me that they were taught some vocational training skills. They can also do another jobs, but that job, maybe that job suits them, suits them nearby their homes. Or most of the prisoners, ex-prisoners I have met, like I have met 4 or 5, but all they have moved from their hometown. That is somewhat like society is not accepting some. They have moved from there, and there I don't think they have told that we were in jails or something.
So it's a sort of social stigma.
Yeah, social stigma. But vocational training is there. It's not compulsory, but it is given in the TIHAR jail. The recent judgment, May 2026, Dodial versus State of Rajasthan. The court says that even where the law permits detention, it must be just, fair and reasonable. It should not be unreasonable. And the last judgment is about the prisoner's height.
Judgment is related to education or right to get education.
So, ma'am, if this be just, fair and unreasonable, then women, transgenders are very low. I have, like in my data, there are only 3 transgenders. So, but there should not be any discrimination between the men, women. Even the discrimination is on the basis of caste.
Fair treatment should.
Fair treatment should be there. In this chapter, I have depicted my data. Challenges in assessing and implementing educational rights in prison and societal acceptance towards the prisoners. Despite a strong legal and human rights foundation, the actual implementation of educational rights in Indian prisons continues to face numerous obstacles. These challenges stem from administrative limitation, resource shortage, structural issues, and societal prejudice. Chapter 4 highlights the gap between policy commitments and on-ground realities, showing how systematic shortcomings undermine the transformative potential of prison education. Infrastructure limitation. A significant challenge is the unavailability of trained teachers and academic staff within the prison system. Actually, when I visited the Central TIHAR jail, the staff was only from the TIHAR jail, like superintendents or these. They are not hiring teachers from outside, maybe for the security purpose, maybe. But I think the whole education thing should be from the outside. There should be public-private partnership in which the...
That is very easily now resolved. Now the online resources are there.
Yeah, online resources are there, but sir, the online resources are not provided directly to the prisoners because they can't issue them phones or this laptops
So
or this.
responsibility of the superintendent. So that is to run the administration of the prison.
Yes.
So they may not be in a position to, deliver
Yes.
what is required in these type of cases.
Even the infrastructure is not that up to the mark. Library facilities are there, but that library facilities is not for the 10,000 prisons. The space is for 7,000 and the prisoners are 10,000, 3,000 more than the
But now every prisoner is not opting for the
yes.
limited
But
numbers.
in my thesis I have given this kid there should be compulsory education for those. If, at least for the people who are uneducated, I'm not talking about the high profile criminals, there should be limitation. I'm not talking about the criminals of the heinous crimes, but those who are
Out of this 10,000 infants which are there, what are the application in terms of education? How many were only?
that I have
How many graduates?
that I-
Was there any?
I have collected all the data, how many are graduates, how many are doing vocational training, that I will have that. These are the recent status in TIHAR jail. Elementary education, number of prisoners this much, 2167. Adult education 923. Higher education 1024. Computer courses 230. Total 4344 out of this 10,000.
Less than 50%.
Less than 50%.
And maximum number is from elementary education. Completion of-
Maximum is elementary education. Details of number of convicts undergoing various sentence. These are the number of convicts which are going various sentence. Death sentence male 9, 0.56, life sentence 620, female 18, 39% male, 36% female. Above 10 years 307, those who have got the punishment of above 10 years. 307, female 8. 5 to 10 years 315, 2 to 5 years 156 males and 3 females. 1 to 2 years 85 males and 1 female. 6 to 12 month 41 male, 1 female. 3 to 6 21 male, 0 female. 1 to 3 month 2 male, up to 1 month 21 male. So there are total males are 1588 and the female are 49. In TIHAR jail, basically we have 9 jails, in which 3 are completely dedicated to women. So this is the data from that.
Is there any data for male, female also out of 4,300 prisoners with whom we have collected the data of their education standards? It can further be divided into male, female also. Is there any data available?
I could not get to her.
So you have just shown 4,000 inmates in different categories.
Yes.
Vocational education, preliminary, higher education, computers. So can it be further segregated between male and
Male and female.
How many male and how many female are there out of that?
Yes, this is available on TIHAR. Yes. This was the number of. I have done that from the general public and TIHAR jail superintendents. From
Why
every.
not the prisoners?
When prisoners, I was
Because
refused.
that is the direct source from where you can get the
Actually,
information.
I was refused. I got the data from prisoners. That was unethical. And when I requested the superintendent, she denied. Miss Sunita. She denied because firstly she say this is unofficial. Firstly she say that we only allow the Delhi University researcher to collect the data. Then I requested her again. Then she showed me the Ministry of Home Affairs manual in which the security was 1 lakh. I was ready to give that I am ready to give you 1 lakh for security and let me collect the data. But she again denied. And when I say if I make someone calls or someone calls you and then you allow me, then she says that I will not be giving, if you can make me call any judge, but I will not be giving you NOC. I will not be giving the NOC certificate. So I did not place the data that was unethical, because that I collected. Yeah, I have done the RTI, but I did not get any reply.
So you made any further action with regard to making of
That data which was unethical, I could not place that in this, because my thesis will be on hold if I did not give that NOC certificate.
So you had right to file an appeal in the case of denial of RTI? Or
Yes, I have that right, and I am thinking. Firstly, I am thinking I will go again. Request if maybe she change the earlier superintendent. I have shown you the mail also. He say yes for the data collection, but when I go for data collection, the superintendent was changed. The lady, she denied. These, what ma'am? That. Yes, yes, yes. These are the questions I have asked the jail superintendents. What is the primary objective of education program for prisoners? Fourth question, which of the following is a benefit of educating prisoners according to current research? Increased isolation, higher recidivism rate, improved employability, reduced security cost. Who typically oversees the implementation of educational programs in prison? Local governments, non-profit organization, prison administration, or private corporation?
how many responses you received for these offices?
I have received responses, 10 responses. There are central, like 9 central jails. There are 2 junior superintendents, like after one main. There are 2 in each, like 18. From 18, I have received the 10.
Have you gone through the Mullah Committee report also? What's all? Many of the recommendations with regard to education and training of the prisoners were also started there. So, was of that recommendations were incorporated, implemented in the current project? Because there are multiple suggestions with regard to prison manual, administration.
Sir, Central TIHAR Jail follow the Delhi prison manual, which
That's fine. Every jail is regulated by some of the other kind of regulation. But because there are multiple kind of flaws over there, they recommended that how to make them, how to make them understand to re-establish them in the society regarding that aspects. And education was one of the criteria on which they
Yes.
suggested multiple kind of changes in the prison manual and prison administration.
through general public data, I think they are manuals. They may be manuals. They are teaching them to re-socialize. But the thing is, what if the society is not accepting them?
No,
That's
Dr.
the main
is talking
concern.
about the committees. Role of the commissions and committees,
Yes.
as usually we added. So he's talking about the Mullah committee.
Okay.
So there were certain recommendations given by this committee.
What ma'am? Committees I have given, but Mullah committee I have not gone through.
Final copy is to be submitted after the Viva, no?
Yes.
So you can add that.
Yes, I have to add 2 judgments that may and which also made by
Recent judgments.
What ma'am? Yes मैम, लॉ कमीशन रिपोर्ट्स भी की हैं, दिल्ली प्रिजन मैनुअल भी किया है, एंड that are by dates. Law commission reports are by dates. I could not recall now. हाँ, incorporate I have done that. I have incorporated that law commission reports also, communities manuals also. All that I have incorporated.
So what are your
In
final
my last
what are the final suggestions you have said?
suggestions. There should be structured policy initiatives towards structured policy backed framework that ensures long-term continuity. Second suggestion was digital and holistic integration, leveraging digital learning platform with post-release services such as employment assistant, housing support and mental health care to facilitate true integration. Because if there will be public-private partnership, then the NGOs and the communities, they can help the prisoners who came out of the prison in re-socializing them. Even they can like enlighten the society by.
There are counselors.
They are counselors, sir, but again the social stigma.
How they are
counselors.
Only to know the human psychology and to treat them with their mental well-being also, so that they will not encourage others to learn.
But sir, in the counselor, they did not like counsel them for
counselors.
in TIHAR jail. That also from the jail administration. They are also from the jail
They
administration.
do not have any type of professional counselors.
That I don't ask. They have counselors, but I am not aware that they are trained counselors or they have counselors, that I know. But I don't know whether they are trained or the psychological background. Yes, ma'am.
You see,
But-
basically they have to, prepare these prisoners that how you have to lead your life
Yes.
when you will join the society, your family and everything. So that is the main responsibility of these counselors. Chalo.
There should be societal sensitization, working to change public perception through media, outreach, cultural narratives that move beyond the stigmatization of ex-prisoners. Even they, I think that they should take the help of ex-prisoners also, those who are doing well, to help the prisoners in the TIHAR Central Jail, so that they can share their journey and they can motivate them to do something good. So this also we can, by this also we can reduce the recidivism rate. What, ma'am? Literacy rate. Right now I'm not aware of that also. I have not seen the data.
I think it is 70 plus in males.
Males are more, that I know.
The purpose is not educating. The purpose is that how to make them understand that whatever they are doing is
Whatever they are doing in jail, they should be.
Do you feel that in majority of the cases, the kind of training that is given to them, it's not beneficial for them after release?
Yes, ma'am. If we talk about off-record data, firstly, the training is not up to that mark that they can come and like if we talk about the vocational trainings. How could one, if a prisoner is there for 1 year and he is learning that skill, like they are doing the wood job, carpentering they are doing the this arts and all, they are making cakes and all. Now they are what we can say, in market, in this Pragati Maidan Fair. The products which are made from the prisoners,
Handicraft.
they are sold there. this bakery products and this wood carved items, all this. But they are not.
Jails in which they are earning a handsome amount also.
Yes, they are earning the amount also, and that is given to the.
They have a canteen where all this cooking was done by the prisoners, and they were
Bakeries are there.
Bakeries are there.
They are earning a huge profit over there.
And in foreign, I think in Canada, the prisoners are also running this gas station, petrol fueling station. They are like puts in bars. One cage is there, and under in that one prison is there, and they are.
They don't have that much of human resources, so they are using the and they are starting their problem.
maybe
We
that.
have to more focus that how education can create impact in their life,
Yes.
establishing in the instant society.
Yes,
This is what we talk
main problem is
So your
society.
topic
I
is
think.
also that your basic topic is education as a human rights of business. With the purpose that how many of them they are
Getting education.
who are
Willing to.
be educated and to make their life more reasonable and to establish themselves in the society. And that's why they are providing additional trainings.
Yes.
So that they can earn some livelihood. If they will not, the main focus is on that how to make them earn something for their livelihood, so that they
Yes.
will not again
indulge in
criminal
them.
activities.
Yes.
This is what the purpose is. So in case if somebody claims, can a prisoner claim as a matter of right to education that no, I want to have a higher
Yes, yes. One judgment was also passed in Kerala case in which one prisoner wants to do LLB, and that judgment was passed. He was asked to do the LLB, but that was his concern whether.
Classes.
In Kerala case 2024, yes, and in recent judgment LLM was also allowed.
All these permissions were with conditions.
Yes,
They will not
that
be
was
allowed to
condition
do some
Attendance classes and all.
attendance cases.
Somebody says that I want to do a empirical study.
Yes, sir, yes, that I have seen in the Supreme Court also said in that judgment that it's not my concern that how they will do this attendance criteria, how they will fulfill the attendance criteria. But according to Article 21, they can
He
do
was permitted to get
admission in LLB and LLM as well. But that criteria was there with terms and conditions.
So both your hypotheses were proved.
Yes, sir. Hypothesis one proved by saying they are not adequate for successful reintegration, and my hypothesis second, education in prison, educational programs, vocational trainings, and community engagement has the potential to significantly improve prison re-socialization and create more favorable public perception upon release. So my both the two hypotheses were proved from my general public data and the jail superintendent data. In future, if I get chance to collect data from prison, I will surely collect. I am still like in contact with that superintendent who allow me. He was not here. He is not here. Vikrant, I think Mr. Vikrant was there. And if he is back there in TIHAR, maybe I will get the chance to collect the data. Then I can do a research paper on it.
So your final observation in this case, your final observation
Case.
of your research.
What is the major contribution of your thesis in case if you have to say, give us some 2 points?
Okay. There should be a public-private partnership, firstly, to re-socialize the prisoners back into the society, and societal acceptance should be there.
With regard to the education of the
Okay,
prisoners.
the education in TIHAR jail should be compulsory, I think. The judgments which are passed that are not using the word mandatory education. They are using they have the right to educate themselves. But I think the judgment should be passed like the mandatory word should be used, so that, and monitoring. Ma'am, like up to 17 we are doing this mandatory education, If the Supreme Court say, then why not the Tihar jail can like
Cannot be classified in this manner that a person who is completely illiterate or who is not capable of earning something based
This
on
is
the
more
education, for
important.
them it should be compulsory.
yes.
But for them who are already educated,
Huh.
and if they want to use it as a luxury, it should not be given.
Those who are already educated but they have committed the crime after education,
That's why we have said that what is the role of counselors in the
then there should be counselor, and there should be that, as you have told, that counselors are they are professionals. I think they should.
Entirely two different things.
That's why I said that public-private partnership should be there, and counselors should be professionals who can counsel them.
हो नहीं सकता It's impossible.
हाँ, they may be.
Number may be inadequate.
These are the general observations and suggestions.
Ma'am, according to the jail superintendent data, which they have given, I think there should be monitoring all the time. Monitoring should be monitoring whether the education is given or not, because there is a different picture inside and different picture outside. If we talk about inside, we don't know whether the education is given. We just believe on the data. I have not received data from prisoners, and if I have been received data from prisoners also, maybe that can also be because she said that if we allow you to collect data, you will not be allowed to meet the prisoners. We will take your copies, that questionnaires, and we will get it filled from the prisoners and give back to you. So that is totally.
No, have you met anybody who said that no education was provided? But we
I met two superintendents who says.
The superintendent, any prisoner who said that no, we have received the education certificate, but no education was provided.
No, prisoners, they were in murder case.
Then why you are saying that?
Jail superintendents say that.
That is
But once I visit Rohtak jail, so there was no such they were given education or so. In Sonipat jail also I visited. There also.
That is not material, because
But in Central Tihar jail education is given, but that's not compulsory. That's the only issue. That's not compulsory. Yes.
Because that's what we say. That's a model.
Because only from superintendent I can get that.
So the Haryana has not adopted
Yes.
this model jail concept. So they might not have these kind of facilities. You would have said that these are the main features which should be available in each jail. At least you can say that these are the minimum requirements in terms of education which should be provided to each prisoner in each jail.
Yes.
Right? Forget about the further extension of it, classification of it, resources of it. But at least these are the minimum facilities based on considering that this concept has been adopted in TIHAR. The same model should be followed in the jail. That will be one aspect. Then you should have focused on that in TIHAR, these are the positives, these are the negatives, and these are the areas which you can work it out. So, for example, you said that sufficient resources are not available.
Yes.
We can suggest that the model may be one screen may be provided where the online classes may take
Yes,
place.
yes.
They may be encouraged to register against various online courses, maybe natural courses, MOOCs courses, occasional courses which are available.
In my suggestion, I said one point that there should be a digital and holistic integration.
you're asking, that
That's what
conversation
that I have told. So I thought.
एडवोकेट पूछते हैं ना वाइल फॉर एग्जांपल दी लुबेट केसेस वैसे क्वेश्चन आपको पूछने चाहिए थे उनकी जो है इंफॉर्मेशन निकालने के लिए एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के लिए ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं था जो आप थोड़ा ऐसे मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल बहुत ही बड़े लेवल से आपको लगता है
वैसे इन्फॉर्मेशन होती है यदि वैसी इन्फॉर्मेशन है क्वेश्चन ना दे वो डिनाइड वो देते नहीं the main problem of such kind of topic is that the information is not provided.
Yes.
once I उससे ये कैंडिडेट को ना बता
And then even you also can't quote that what they said. She even uses words like she said that अब तो जेल में जेल का पानी पीना पड़ेगा. She said these words to me when I was asking के if I make a call from someone. Then she said जेल का पानी पीना पड़ेगा जेल की रोटी खानी पड़ेगी.
जेल का पानी
And she also told me one story that we allowed one researcher to collect the data, and after 6 months the prison was out and she married the researcher. So these are the basis we don't allow you to collect the data. So she made very 2 to 4 excuses.
You should not focus on that concept. You should have focused on your stay. You should have said that you allow me to stay. I will prefer to stay and to do my work. So that is not my problem. Anyway.
वो गेट वो अलाउ ही नहीं करते. वो गेट जहाँ पे जेल सुपरिटेंडेंट बैठे थे वो उससे उस गेट को क्रॉस ही नहीं करने देते. रोहतक जेल आई हैव गॉन.
There are many institutions who go for critical analysis of them and they criticize.
हाँ.
That's why they don't allow it. वहाँ ये थोड़ा भी कुछ हो गया.
And she even
उन्होंने लिख देना कि
पॉजिटिव फीडबैक जाएगा
they are also testing.
she even says कि लाइक आप ये मुझसे प्रिजनर से डाटा क्यों ले रहे हो, आप बाहर जनरल पब्लिक से क्यों नहीं ले रहे हो. तो आई सेड कि जनरल पब्लिक से हैव टेकन द डाटा.
General public is not the direct source, na?
हाँ. And I have tried for 1 full year. I have visited her so many times. I have called her, I have WhatsApp her. Even I called Vikrant sir also. Vikrant Shekhar was earlier their superintendent. But so according to me, so my suggestions, digital and holistic integration should be there, which you were asking. Leveraging digital learning platform with post-release services should, such as employment assistance and housing support and mental health care facilitate true integration back into the society. So thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so you have satisfied all of us with your answers to our queries. So congratulations, Monica. So now you are Dr. Monica.
Thank you so
So congratulations to you, to the faculty, to head and to the guide also. So here I recommend for the award of degree to you, right? So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to supervisor and thank you on behalf of the school and on behalf of the School of Law and University. I extend my gratitude and thanks to also the ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
For always helpful and available to accept our request, even for the short photo. We request you to bless us again and
Always. But blessings are always with you. Thank you.